I'm frightened. I don't know what to do. The spells are getting worse. I'm weaker. I know I can't go on this way. Pendergast is dead, and there's no one to help me.
So I think it's time we took some action before some other poor girl is murdered.
What can we do?
We can set up civilian patrols. Keep an eye on the campus at night. Make sure there are no co-eds out alone.
What about the police?
They're not getting anywhere. And they have a lot of other problems.
When will these patrols start?
The sooner the better. Tonight. Now, I know you're all on a busy schedule, but there's a killer loose. Do I see any volunteers?
Now, if you were any kind of friend, you would have stopped me before I volunteered.
Oh, I don't know. The quad's not so bad. Cemetery, however.
Want to trade, friend?
I never saw you before in my life. You know, I really think it's not such a bad idea. I grant you Houston's a little overeager, but if this patrol stops one killing, it'll be worth it.
I understand he's going to retire soon.
You're trying to tell me something.
Oh, you got to admit, if he catches the killer, he goes out in a blaze of glory.
Hi, Mr. Wells, Mr. Simmons.
Don't hi me. When am I going to see that report on Chaucer?
Would you believe next Monday?
That's what you said last Monday.
Trust me.
Where have I heard that before?
All right, but if it's any later than Monday.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. You're a doll.
Why don't I get people like that in my classes?
You're a dirty old man, that's why.
We need love, too.
There's a cue if I ever heard one. There's Marnie.
Hi.
Hello, my love.
Hello.
Would you cool it? I know how you feel about my wife, but it's getting embarrassing.
You're right. I'll have to control my natural impulses.
Unnatural, I think.
Oh, no, keep it up. I love it.
You got time to come by for a drink?
No, thanks. I've got a desk full of papers waiting at the office.
All right, well, listen, good luck tonight.
Thank you. You too.
What's this about tonight?
Oh, it's nothing. It's, I'll tell you later. Hello. David's not here?
Who?
David. Wells. He lives here.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm Laura Benton. My folks own the house.
Hi, I'm Frank Simmons.
Hi. I came here on a visit. They're away. Bad timing. This used to be my playroom.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just came by out of curiosity. The door was unlocked. I'm embarrassed.
You needn't be. I'm sure David wouldn't mind.
I couldn't help but notice the picture. Is that his wife?
Was. She died a couple of years ago.
They looked like they were very much in love.
Yes, they were. Sometimes I think he's still getting over it. I know where he keeps the bottle. Would you like me to fix you a drink?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm expecting a call from my folks.
Well, since David's not here, I'll walk you down. David?
Hi.
You all right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, this is Laura... I'm sorry.
Benton.
Laura Benton. David Wells. I caught this lady snooping around in your apartment.
No. I used to live here. I was just curious. I hope you don't mind.
It's quite all right.
Well, good night.
Night. Beautiful girl. What you got there?
Oh, it's a copy of Pendergast's manuscript. Before he died, he asked me to edit it for him. Just picked it up from his housekeeper.
I just stopped by to see if anything happened on your patrol.
No, everything quiet. You?
No, nothing. Can't say I'm too unhappy about it. I wasn't cut out to be a hero. You got time for a drink?
Give me a rain check, will you? I'm a little tired tonight.
Sure. See you tomorrow.
It is the author's contention that there is a scientific explanation which accounts for the unnatural desire for human blood. That such a desire is in fact a biological need caused by a chemical imbalance. Therefore, the purpose of this study is to demonstrate a relationship between diseases of the blood and the body of literature concerning itself, vampires.
David? Dave, wait up. Glad I caught you. Listen, you didn't look so good last night. How you feeling?
Okay.
You sure? You don't look so good right now, as a matter of fact.
Been up all night working.
On that manuscript?
Yeah.
What's that about?
Vampires.
Wonderful.
Come on, we'll be late.
Then during your patrols, none of you has seen anyone suspicious. Anyone hanging around the campus. Well, I have a feeling it's going to work. We keep the patrols going, there won't be any more murders. Something I can do for you, Lieutenant?
I'd like to talk to your people.
Anything special?
Yes.
Detective Lieutenant Thorpe. He's handling the murder investigation for the police.
I've heard about what you're doing. And unofficially, I think it's great. Officially, it could be dangerous. You people aren't equipped or trained for these patrols. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to stop. Now, we booked a suspect this morning. A boy who dated the victim. He has no alibi. We think he's probably the murderer. So you see, there's just no need for the patrols. I hope I've made my point. Thank you all for your time.
Well, I guess that's that.
I don't think we should let Thorpe intimidate us. The police are not infallible. What if they arrested the wrong person? We stop the patrols, and the real murderer is still free. I wouldn't want the murder of another co-ed on my conscience, and I don't think you would either.
Mr. Simmons. Oh, you scared the daylights out of me.
Well, you should be scared, young lady. Much what's been going on around here? What are you doing out by yourself?
Are you on the faculty patrol?
Yes. You better let me walk you back to your dorm.
Well, that's okay. I'm gonna go meet my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend.
Everything's cool, honest.
Okay, but listen, keep your eyes open, will you, please?
I always do.
Hey!
David? Well, I'm glad we ran into each other. Of course, if we hadn't, I would have found some other way.
Are you always so honest?
Not always. I've learned to be selective. Of course, the problem with being selective is you run the risk of ending up alone. You must miss your wife very much. Oh, when I was in your apartment, I saw her picture.
Yes, I do miss her.
I envy you. Most people never have what you once had.
Hello.
David, it's Frank.
Yes, Frank, what's wrong?
Listen, I haven't been able to get out of my mind something you said about Pendergast in his manuscript. Tonight I was patrolling in the cemetery and I saw someone. And I chased him, but he disappeared.
Go on.
For a minute, it looked like... I thought it was him. Pendergast. I know he's dead. But... You think I'm crazy, right?
No,
David, what are we going to do?
I don't know. Look, you get some sleep. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night. It happened again. I can't account for my actions. Am I a murderer? Is it possible I've committed murder? I can't be sure. Frank thinks he's seeing ghosts. Poor old Pendergast. I've got to keep studying his manuscript. It's my only hope. Drive carefully.
Wish me luck. I've given myself 2 weeks to find a job or else.
You'll do fine.
I'd better.
Mr. Wells? Mr. Wells? Did you hear what happened? Fern didn't come home last night. And they found her body near the cemetery this morning. I just don't know what's happening. And we're all so scared. I'm sorry.
Her roommate. She was a student of mine. Doesn't seem possible.
Ah, that poor little girl. If only I'd stayed with her or stopped her.
Frank, you can't blame yourself.
Let me make sure I understand this. You think you saw Pendergast, the old professor who died?
Look, I don't know. It was dark. I can't be sure.
What makes you think it was him?
It was something David said.
He was writing a book.
I remember somebody joking about it. Something about blood diseases.
Well, there's more to it than that.
Well, go on.
It was about blood diseases and vampires.
Don't say anything about this to anyone. Not yet.
What about Lieutenant Thorpe?
He'd laugh you out of the office.
You didn't.
Either you saw something you thought was Pendergast, or... When you get to be my age, you begin to believe in the possibilities of a lot of things. All right, there's something else. The girls all bled to death. No indication of a weapon. And the only marks on them were on the throat.
Laura, what are you doing here?
It was a nice night, and I wanted to be with you.
Come on, you know it's not safe. That's why we're still patrolling.
David, I'm not asking anything of you. I know you're still getting over your wife's death.
I guess some people take longer to heal than others.
I understand. I'm just content to be with you.
It's not just my wife, Laura. I guess I've always been shy with with people I really care about.
Thank you for telling me.
Strange place for a conversation like this. Come on.
Who was he?
He was a teacher, a professor of medicine. He was a kind, gentle old man.
Wells! I'm sorry if I startled you. You all right?
Miss Benton, Chief Houston.
How do you do? Why don't you two run along? I'll take over the last watch.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
I can't believe that I've become something monstrous. If Pendergast's theory is sound, there's no hope for me. I wish I could die. My mind wants to die, but my body's determination to survive is too strong.
Pendergast. Come in.
Can we talk, Owen?
Sure, want a drink?
No, thanks. What do you know about these murders?
I thought you had a suspect.
We had to let him go. He didn't date the second girl. Last night, when Dana Evans was murdered, he had the best alibi imaginable. He was in jail.
Too bad. It's possible you eased up on your investigation because you had a suspect. I didn't.
Look, why don't we work together? In spite of your patrols, there's been 2 more murders. Now tell me what really happened last night. I read your report. Was a little sketchy, wasn't it?
The only thing sketchy around here is the police protection on this campus.
Why are we always at each other's throats? Did I say something funny?
The girls, the murder victims, all died of throat wounds.
Oh, I know that. And you know I know it.
No sign of a murder weapon. Did you ever ask yourself who'd do such a thing?
Nut.
Maybe.
You got another theory?
A vampire.
Maybe I'll have that drink.
There was a professor here, a man named Pendergast. I knew him slightly before he died. He kept to himself, took long walks, a lonely man. Every time I ever bumped into him, he had his nose in a book. I saw him last night.
You saw him?
I shot at him.
And I suppose the bullets went right through him.
Sure looked like that.
You could have missed.
I'm a pretty good shot.
Has anyone else seen him? This Pendergast?
Why? Would you believe someone else? You don't believe me, I can see it in your eyes.
Owen, I'm just a simple cop. Vampires are a whole other trip.
What are you smiling about?
You're a wonder, that's all. I ask you out to dinner and end up having the best meal of my life in my own apartment.
That's my bag. I cook. You can't imagine the broken hearts I've left behind with my veal piccata.
I can imagine.
Let it go.
Hello. Yeah, Frank. Well, I can't get away. Just... Yeah, I'm listening. I'll be right over.
Problems?
I'm terribly sorry. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to leave.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Chief, what's this all about?
We have to dig up that grave and make sure that Pendergast is in it. Come on.
Is he kidding?
Come on.
Wait a minute. What's that thing for?
It's the only one sure way to kill a vampire. Come on, let's go over.
Hey, what is it with you guys? Here we are, a couple of beautiful red-blooded girls. Picture spread fit for kings, and you two haven't said a word all afternoon.
We're just relaxed and stuffed.
Yeah, it was a great meal.
Oh, good try, but your heart's not in it.
What is it, Frank? You've been acting awfully strange lately.
Well, if you must know, I think I'm falling in love.
Again? I know what it is. It's the murders, isn't it?
You both knew the girls. All of them. It must be awful for you.
Mr. Wells, Mr. Simmons, I'm sorry to butt in.
No, that's all right, Lieutenant. This is my wife, Marnie, Lieutenant Thorpe.
Mrs. Simmons,
Laura Benton, Lieutenant Thorpe.
Miss Benton, I was wondering if I could have a word with both of you.
Of course.
Excuse me, honey.
Now, Houston tells me you think you saw a dead man named Pendergast. Is that true?
Look, Lieutenant.
Well, is it true?
Yes, it's true.
Okay. Lord knows why, but I did some checking on Pendergast. There was nothing about the man that would suggest even the slightest thing out of the ordinary. He was straight as an arrow. But during my investigation, I've come up with a little theory. Wouldn't it be clever for the real murderer to have used the imaginary vampire to throw suspicion away from himself?
The real murderer? Who?
Houston.
Houston? Why Houston?
Some years ago, before he came here, a co-ed of another campus accused him of assault. The charge was dropped when she refused to testify.
Then how, in the name of heaven, did he ever get a job here?
Well, he's clean. He's got no record. I found it out unofficially. Oh, I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention anything. Look, take my advice. Don't get caught up in Houston's madness. Or you both could be in more trouble than you ever imagined. I'll take care of him.
Look, Houston must be crazy to have suggested what we did last night in the cemetery. And we're crazy to have gone along with it. Can you imagine what Thorpe is going to do if he ever finds out we dug up a grave and killed a corpse?
Using Pendergast was one thing. He's dead. But I can't let them suspect Houston. He's old, foolish, but I'm so afraid. I've been thinking about Laura. I'm afraid to love her.
Laura, it's Frank. What is it?
Did I kill her? My God, did I kill again? I loved her.
David!
Oh, my God, what happened?
I don't know. I just found her out there.
Put it here.
Oh.
What happened? What happened?
Oh, David. Oh, I was coming up here and someone grabbed me and I screamed and I guess I fainted.
It's all right. It's all right.
Oh. Oh, David, I've never been so afraid.
Operator, give me the police.
Just black, please.
Any news?
Lab boys drew a blank. Not one lead. I questioned Houston. Said he was at the movies. Alone.
I can't believe it was Houston.
You don't really think it's Pendergast, do you? Considering his checkered career, I'd say Houston's our man. From now on, I've got to keep a very close eye on him.
I thought you were going to jump out of the stands and attack that poor referee.
Poor referee, my eye, he blew the game for us.
What happened to that nice ladylike demeanor?
That was just a front. Now you've seen the real me.
Thank you for helping me laugh again.
I like the real you. Have I told you?
I'm glad we're progressing. Do you have a dark side that you keep hidden?
Not me. What you see is what you get.
Nobody's perfect.
Just be a minute. I'm gonna pick up some papers at the office. Lock the door behind me.
You all right?
I was making my rounds. I heard a scream. There were footsteps. I chased them. Fired.
David?
It all happened so fast. I called out to him. He never answered. I didn't know it was him.
Keys in my pocket. Take it. Promise me. Diary in my desk. Personal. Burn it. Please. promise.
I will. I promise.
Thank God it's over. Laura.
Hello, Laura. Still can't believe he's gone.
Laura, how are you feeling? Can I fix you a drink?
Oh, no, I'm all right, thank you.
What time is it?
4:30. The train doesn't leave till 6.
Laura, are you sure this is best for you?
David had no one. Except me. He told me his wife was buried in Des Moines. I feel I should be with him on the train. I want to be with him. We had so little time together.
Laura, why don't you go and get some rest? We can finish up here, close up the apartment.
I think I will. You're safe now, David. I burned the diary. Rest in peace.
You gotta put down with it, please, mate.
Catherine blocks the oxygen.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the terrifying world of your imagination. Vampire. Perhaps in the safety of your home, the word means little to you. Oh, you've heard of vampires, of course, but do you believe that they exist? Not you. I would be remiss if I didn't warn you that if your nerves are not strong, it might be better for you not to listen. No, really now. Be warned. Because as Minna Harker tells us in the diary she kept, there awaits you
an experience so loathsome, so horrifying, that I can hardly bring myself to write of it. If I'd known what lay ahead for me when I went to visit my dearest and closest friend, Lucy Westenra, at Hillingham, I could not have brought myself to go, much as I loved her. Looking back now, I realize I had plenty of warning, but I paid no attention. For example, as I drove to the Westenra estate through that lonely, isolated country and heard the wolves howling in the distance, it occurred to me that it was strange to hear wolves in this part of the country. As strange as the huge bat that flew alongside my car. I mentioned this to John, Dr. John Seward, Lucy's fiancé, as we sat having a drink in the living room.
It's strange, Minna. I've seen that bat myself. The thing must have a wingspread of at least 4 feet. I haven't the faintest idea where it came from, or the wolves either.
Even Lucy's letters seemed kind of strange to me, John. What is the matter with her?
No, I don't know. I'm completely baffled. I've had 2 other doctors look at her, colleagues of mine, and they can't figure it out. I'm desperate, Minna. I'm so desperate, I've called in my old friend and teacher, Professor Van Helsing.
Van Helsing?
Yes,
he's one of the finest diagnosticians in the world, John.
Yes, he'll be here from Amsterdam in a day or 2.
Amsterdam, Holland?
Yeah.
All the way from Amsterdam? Oh, John, you must be desperate.
Look, Lucy is dying, Minna. I'll do anything I can to save her. We must find a way to stop her from losing blood.
Losing blood?
Well, it's this constant loss of blood that's killing her. Transfusions help for a time, but only a short time, and each transfusion is less effective.
John, when can I see her?
Oh, she's sleeping now. Her mother's with her, watching her. We take turns. As soon as Mrs. Westenra lets us know she's awake...
Oh, listen, those wolves, they're at it again. John, hasn't anyone looked into this wolf thing? How they suddenly come to be in this part of the country?
Well, according to the paper, the town police have looked into it. Well, that's peculiar, too.
What?
Well, they haven't been able to spot one single wolf. Oh, excuse me. We have a visitor. Oh, come in, Count. Come in.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm on my way to town. I have a dinner engagement, and I thought I would stop to ask after Miss Westenra.
Oh, she's no better, I'm afraid.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Can you stay for a drink?
Well,
I'd like you to meet a friend of Lucy's who'll be staying with us for a while.
Oh, in that case, of course.
Minna, this is Count Dracula, our new neighbor. Count Miss Minna Harker.
How do you do?
How do you do? Count Dracula?
Yes, but do not hold it against me, Miss Harker. I cannot help being of the blood royal.
Well, why don't you two get acquainted while I go up and see if Lucy's awake yet?
I shall do my best to entertain this charming young lady.
I won't be a minute.
You're a long way from home, Count.
A very long way, Miss Harker.
May I ask what brought you here?
Business.
Business? Good heavens, what kind of business could you have in this part of the country? I mean, it's so isolated.
True, it does present difficulties, but I like living in the country.
Oh, you must. Oh, forgive me, I'm forgetting my manners. Would you like a drink?
Thank you.
Scotch or bourbon?
Is there perhaps some wine? Red wine?
Now, let me see. I'm not very familiar with the supply here. Here we are. There's a bottle of Burgundy.
That glass of that will be... Oh. Miss Harker, what's wrong? What is it?
It's the bottle. I'm afraid it slipped. It slipped. That's all. Oh, I'm afraid I cut my hand. No, don't be upset. It's only a slight cut, see?
No.
Lucy's awake and we can... Count, what's wrong? Minna, your hand.
I must leave at once, Doctor. Sorry, I cannot stay. Something I just remembered. No, it's all right. I will see myself now.
What in the world? But, Count... Minna, what happened? Minna?
I dropped the bottle of wine and cut my hand.
Yes, I see you did, but...
I dropped the bottle because I couldn't see him in the mirror.
Couldn't see? What mirror?
This mirror over the table. It reflects the whole room.
Well, of course it does, but...
John, I picked up the bottle to pour Count Dracula a drink, and I looked into the mirror, and he was standing where you are now, and I couldn't see him in the mirror.
What?
He was there where you're standing, but he wasn't reflected in the glass.
Minna, you're not making sense. And you're trembling.
John, I'm scared.
Of what?
How can you ask? I look in a mirror and didn't see someone who should have been reflected in it. Is something going wrong with my eyes or my brain, John?
Oh,
what?
Minna, easy. I don't want another patient on my hands.
But, John,
An optical illusion, something like that. Our eyes play tricks on us sometimes. Now, come on. Let's get a bandage for that cut, and then we'll go up and see Lucy.
I believe, John. It must have been. It had to be a trick my eyes had played. What else? Well, we got a bandage for the cut on my hand, and then John took me to Lucy's room. I can't find words to describe the shock I felt when I saw her. She was white as new-fallen snow, and so thin, she almost seemed transparent. She's dying. That was my first thought. She's dying, and nothing can save her. And I know she read the thoughts in my face. I could see the sudden fear in her eyes.
I am dying, Minna.
Oh, you mustn't even think that, Lucy.
You do.
I?
It was in your face when you looked at me. I read your thoughts. She's dying, you thought. And nothing can save her. I am. And nothing can save me.
Oh, John can save you. And he will.
He hasn't so far.
You mustn't despair, Lucy.
Despair, Minna? I don't have the strength to despair. You better go now, Minna.
Go? Lucy, dear, I haven't seen you in nearly a year. We haven't even started to tell each other everything that's happened.
Later. Not now. I'm tired. I want to sleep.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll come back later.
No, not till tomorrow.
All right, whatever you say. But I'll just look in on you later.
No,
Lucy.
You mustn't.
All right, then. But stop upsetting yourself.
Go quickly.
Oh, good Lord. At the window.
It's nothing. Go, Minna. It's nothing.
Nothing. It's that bat. That huge bat that followed my car.
Oh, go, I beg of you.
Lucy, the thing is trying to get in. Look, it's clawing at the window. Is that locked? Is that window locked?
Yes, it's locked.
But locks are useless against Count Dracula.
Oh, good Lord.
Mirrors do not reflect my image, Miss Harker. Nor do locks keep me out.
You were that bat.
As the wolves you hear are not wolves, but like myself, vampires.
Vampires?
The dead, who live by night. The dead, undead.
No, this can't be happening. It's a dream. It's a nightmare.
That's what it will seem like when you wake up.
Huh?
Yes, you're going to sleep now. And yet not sleep. You will remember all you've seen here, but when you waken, it will seem like a dream. A dream you'll tell no one, not even Professor Van Helsing, because you will not want to look foolish. You'll be ashamed to tell it for fear he will think you're a silly young woman. Enough. Sleep.
Did I sleep? Did I dream? No. My sleep was a hypnotic trance into which he had placed me. And what I dreamed was reality. There in the moonlight that streamed through the window, I saw Dracula raise his arms and call.
Lucy. Lucy, my dearest love, come to me. Come, my darling.
I can't. Too weak, my lover. I'm too weak.
Then I shall come to you. Embrace you. Kiss you.
And now the strangest thing of all happened to me. As I watched what then took place, my love for my friend Lucy, my fears for her, made me feel as she must have felt, so poignantly, so deeply that, yes, I became Lucy. I watched Dracula as he approached my bed. There was a deliberate voluptuousness in him which I found both thrilling and repulsive. Lower and lower went his head as the lips went below the range of my mouth and chin and seemed about to fasten on my throat. I could feel the hot breath on my neck. Then the skin of my throat began to tingle. I could feel the soft, shivering touch of his lips on the supersensitive skin of my throat, and then two hard dents of two sharp teeth just touching and pausing there. I closed my eyes in a languorous ecstasy, and I waited. I waited with a beating heart. And then horror overcame me, and I sank into unconsciousness. I thought it must have been a dream, a nightmare, for nothing so vile and revolting could be real. But though I tried during the next day or two to persuade myself it was only a dream, there were signs, warnings all about me that told me I was lying to myself. There was the nightly howling of the wolves, the screeching of that huge bat around the house, and yes, the scarf that Lucy kept wrapped round her throat. It's such a hot afternoon. How can you bear to wear that scarf around your throat?
Hot? I feel cold.
But, Lucy, you're perspiring. Your forehead is damp.
All I want to do is sleep. I'm so tired. I'm so deathly tired.
I'll leave you for a while, then. I'll look in on you later to make sure you're all right.
Oh.
Sleep well.
Minna?
Yes, dear?
If I'm asleep when you come back, promise me you won't remove this scarf from around my throat.
Very well.
You won't even touch it. Promise?
I promise. Later that afternoon, toward evening, Professor Van Helsing arrived from Holland. When John introduced me to him, he stared at me suddenly and hard, his eyes boring into me from behind his thick lensed glasses.
You are frightened, Miss Harker? Why?
Frightened?
Maybe she hasn't recovered from that optical illusion the other night.
Optical illusion?
Yes, you see that mirror over the table there?
Yes.
Well, we had a visitor, Count Dracula, a new neighbor, Carfax, a few miles from here, and Minna had the illusion that she couldn't see his reflection in the mirror.
My eyes must have played a trick on me, Professor.
Yes. This Count Dracula, John, he's new here, you say?
Yes, he arrived from Hungary about 6 weeks ago.
I see. Take me to see your fiancée, John.
Oh, she's sleeping, Lucy, sleeping
We'd
right now.
better wake her up.
What is it? You seem suddenly concerned.
I am. Take me to Lucy at once. Wake her, John.
All right.
Gently. Very gently.
Lucy? Lucy, dear. Come on, wake up.
Here. Let me. Pulse weak, very weak. Eyes. Oh, she's not asleep. She's in a coma. What is her blood type?
Oh.
So is mine. Prepare for a transfusion, John. I will be the donor. And hurry, man, hurry.
Yes, of course.
Meanwhile, I shall have a look under this scarf.
No, she didn't want the scarf removed.
I'm sure she didn't, Miss Harker, but we're going to remove it. Aha. As I thought.
What is it?
Yes, Professor, what?
Look.
There are two little holes. Wounds.
As if she'd been bitten by a large snake.
No, not a snake.
Well, what then? What?
We must be quick with the transfusion, very quick. And pray God, both of you, that I have not arrived too late.
But he was too late. The transfusion revived Lucy a little. When we'd made her as comfortable as we could, the three of us, Professor Van Helsing, John, and I, went back down to the living room. And it was here that Professor Van Helsing told us the truth. The truth that made John Seward cry out.
Vampire? You say we are dealing with a vampire, Professor? Have you gone out of your mind?
My dear John, I don't blame you.
Blame me? I should hope not. You ask me to believe me, a doctor, a man of medical science?
Science? There's more to this world than science.
But, Professor, a vampire? I can't believe that there's a vampire.
I tell you that witches exist, that warlocks exist, that vampires exist, and we are dealing with one here.
But if what you say...
It is. Ask her. Ask Miss Harker.
Me?
You had an experience in this house that you are concealing. You choose to think it was a dream. When did it happen, child? Last night?
No. The night before.
Where?
In Lucy's bedroom.
Minna, what happened?
I dreamed...
No, it was no dream.
All right, then. I saw... Oh, heaven protect me. I saw...
You needn't tell me. No need to put you through that. I would if I didn't know who our vampire is. But I do know.
Who?
The man whose reflection she could not see in that mirror. Your new neighbor, Count Dracula.
I don't believe you. I cannot believe you.
If you can't believe me, at least trust me.
Oh, I'll answer that.
Wait.
Yes, Professor.
If that should be Count Dracula, you did say that he calls about this time each evening, John?
Yes.
Say nothing, do nothing to give away the fact that we are onto him.
Oh, this is nonsense, sheer
Do
nonsense.
as I tell you. You may answer the door now, Miss Harker.
Yes.
Good evening, Miss Harker.
Count Dracula? Come in.
And how is Miss Westenra today?
Not too well, I'm afraid. She had to have another transfusion.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, John. Very sorry to hear that.
Thank you, Count.
I do not believe I have met this gentleman.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you haven't. Let me present my old friend and teacher, Professor Abraham Van Helsing. Professor, this is Count Dracula.
How do you do, Professor?
How do you do, Count?
I wished only to inquire about your fiancée, John. I'm sorry indeed to hear she is no better. If there's anything I can do...
Thank you.
Meeting you, Professor, has been a pleasure. Good night.
Oh, Count.
Yes?
Mrs. Westenra keeps asking me to do this, and I keep forgetting. There is a custom in the Westenra family to ask visitors to sign the visitor's book.
Ah, charming old world custom.
It's
John.
right here. If you'll just wait a second, I'll get it, and then you can sign it. Is something wrong?
It's a Bible.
Well, yes. Why do you back away from me? Or are you backing away from the book? The holy book?
I must go.
No, you'll stay and face this book.
You know.
John, you fool. You shouldn't have done this.
I had to have proof.
I will make you pay for this. You shall pay.
Oh, no. Not now that I have found out what you are.
Oh, John.
You think because you discovered my secret you can stop me? Fool. You've only delivered yourself into my hands. I meant to make Lucy one of mine, and that was all. But now you shall become mine, and you...
Not I.
Yes, and you.
No, I beg you.
I shall have you all, but first... Lucy, I shall take her. Take her. Now. She's mine. She's no longer of this world, but of mine. I leave you.
Look, he turned into a bat. The bat. And he flew right through the wall.
John.
Oh.
John, why did you do this? Why, after I warned you?
I had to know one way or the other. I had to know.
There's only one way to finish a vampire. Oh, the first thing you must do is find out where he sleeps during the day.
Lucy! Professor, quickly. Professor!
There is no hurry now. When he said he meant to make her his own, he had already done so.
It was true. Lucy was dead. We went to her bedroom and found her. Dead. I felt as if I'd been stabbed to the heart. We buried her, my dearest friend, in the West End Vault at Hillingham Cemetery, not far from town.
Lucy is gone. Dead?
No, not dead.
Not dead, Professor.
She has become the undead. She has become a vampire.
Oh, what are you saying?
John, listen to me. Believe in me. You didn't believe before. Believe now.
Yes. I believe you. Go on.
John, you feel you've been through hell. I must tell you that you have been through only the anteroom to hell.
What do you mean?
Now listen to me. Listen carefully. There is only one way in which a vampire can find peace, can be changed from the undead to the dead. What you must do, terrible as it will be, will release her soul from the horrifying bondage in which it finds itself. Her soul and Dracula's.
Dracula's?
Do you think a vampire wants to be a vampire? Oh, no. A vampire's soul is chained, pinioned, held mercilessly to this earth by Satan himself. And we who believe in God are the only ones who can free them. It is our duty to destroy them.
Well, then let's destroy them.
We shall, if you have the nerve to do what must be done.
I have the nerve.
Professor, you frighten me.
I mean to, in order to prepare you. But no matter how well I prepare you, when it comes to doing what must be done, your sanity could snap like that. So first I will ask you both to take as much time as you need to think, to ask yourselves, how much do you really love Lucy Westenra? And be sure, be positive beyond all doubt that your love for her is greater than the hell that lies ahead for you and you this very night.
I'm ready, Professor.
I knew you would be, John. We'll wait now for Miss Harker.
No, there's no need to wait. I love Lucy enough. More than enough. She was my dearest friend.
Is your dearest friend. For she is not yet dead. She is as yet the dead undead. It's nearly sundown. Let us go to the cemetery at once.
The cemetery?
It will be dark by the time we get there. She will have left her coffin.
Left it?
Like Count Dracula, she cannot go on living, or let me say, being the undead without drinking human blood. To find it, she must, of course, leave her coffin. The instant the sun goes down tonight, she will be on the prowl for little children.
Children?
Yes, children are innocent, gullible, naive, make easier victims. And the inexperienced vampire must practice. Yes, she will be seeking children.
Oh, it's revolting.
Revolting? Well, that is only a word to you at the moment. In a short time, it will be reality. Do you really think you can bear what is to come?
I can. I must.
Good. I have preparations to make. So do you, the two of you. Dress warmly.
Warmly? But it's hot out.
Child, there is no chill like a graveyard chill.
We drove to Hillingham Cemetery in John's car. I'd never been in a cemetery at night. How many people have? I found it a very unsettling experience, to say the least. It was a moonlit night, the moonlight spilling like milk over the gravestones, which in turn threw long black shadows. An owl hooted, and dogs barked. Or I couldn't help thinking, were they wolves? And then we reached the West End Vault, the vault where we'd put Lucy's coffin that afternoon.
Now what do we do, Professor?
We go into the vault.
Why? And how?
I have the key to the vault.
How did you get it?
I asked the undertaker for it, or rather told him to give it to me. He assumed I was a member of the family. You need not come with me. Not now.
But why shouldn't we come?
I wish to save you as much shock as I can. She will not be there in the coffin. It will be a shock for you to find it empty. Now, on the other hand, it will be less a shock than what is to follow. Yes, it will prepare you. Come, then. I shall open the coffin now.
If she isn't in it, how could she have got out?
I could tell you, but it is better that you see for yourself later. Now, this won't take long. I need only unscrew the top part. There. Well, now to lift off the top of the lid. Yes, empty. She's gone.
Where? Gone where? In God's name, where?
In search of the life-giving blood, John. In search of a small child.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
John?
Yes?
Come. We go outside the vault. Now to lock the door. Now, that's most important. And now, what I must do will take a little time. Yes, make yourselves as comfortable as you can.
Make ourselves comfortable.
Professor, what must you do?
Well, I have here a paste made of garlic, flour, and water. I must seal off every crevice with it. Seal all around the door so Lucy cannot get back into the vault, into her coffin.
She could?
Through the crevices, yes. How do you think she got out of the coffin?
I can't believe...
Yes. It is unbelievable. But it is so. Now, forgive me. I must get to work.
I can't express in words how fresh and clean the night air seemed when we came out of the tomb. How sweet to breathe the fresh air that held no taint of death or decay. John was silent, and so was I. As for Professor Van Helsing, he was very busy sealing the door.
It's 10 o'clock. I hope both of you took my advice, dressed warmly. We have a long wait ahead of us.
How much longer, Professor? I'm chilled to the bone.
Everything depends on how long it takes her to find a small child. Nearly 2 o'clock. Has been gone several hours. Soon now, I think... Shh.
What?
She comes.
Where?
See there? Amidst the headstones.
Yes, a woman. Dressed in white.
Lucy.
Shh. Make no move, no noise. See, she is carrying something in her arms. A child.
I feel sick.
Control yourself. Ah, there. Yes, she's coming toward the vault. See, she draws back. The mixture I used repels her.
Why are we doing this? Why are you keeping her out of the vault, her coffin?
Because I hope... Yes, she is leaving, hurrying away from among the headstones. Come, we must follow.
Follow where?
To Dracula, I hope. Unless I'm mistaken, she's going to him for help. Hurry. We must keep her in sight. No, wait.
What is it?
She is heading for that tomb. Dracula must be there. Good. Now watch. See, now she's putting the child down on the ground. And now...
Where is she? She's vanished.
She simply slipped into the tomb through the crevice around the door. Oh, wait here.
Yes.
What's he doing?
He's picking up the child, I think. Yes. See, he's coming back now.
Here, Miss Harker. You take the child. Keep it warm.
Oh, this poor thing. Poor little thing. Look, it doesn't move. It doesn't make a sound. It's lifeless.
No, only in a trance. It will recover. But remember, when I ask you to do what must be done, remember that we have saved not only this child, but God knows how many others.
I'll remember.
Good. And now we will return to her tomb and wait till dawn.
Till dawn?
She will return to the tomb then. She has no choice. Dracula cannot help her. She must sleep in her own coffin before daybreak. And how do you feel, Miss Harker?
I'm all right. Thank you.
John?
I'm okay.
It's almost dawn. Why doesn't she come?
Soon now. How's the child?
Still asleep, if it is only sleep.
It is. It will not come to its senses until daybreak. Now, prepare yourselves for... In a very short time, now Lucy should... there. Yes, she's coming.
And this time she'll be able to enter the tomb, because you removed the garlic mixture.
This time I want her to enter the tomb and her coffin. It will be there that you will do what must be done.
Oh, there she is. Oh, heaven help me. She is as beautiful as she always was.
Now, hold on to yourself.
She isn't dead. She can't be dead. Lucy! Lucy, my darling!
John! No, come back!
Lucy!
John, my dearest, come to me, John. Come to me.
I have never seen anything so horrible. God save me from ever seeing it again. Lucy's eyes shone with an unholy light, and her face became wreathed with a voluptuous smile as she advanced toward John with outstretched arms.
Come to me, dearest. My arms are hungry for you. Come, and we can rest together in the tomb. Come, my lover. Come.
And John suddenly opened wide his arms and started running to her, and she to him, when Van Helsing rushed forward between them. And he raised something he held in his hand up against her face. It was a crucifix. With a cry of rage and agony, Lucy flung herself away from John and toward the tomb, and she was gone.
John, are you all right?
The Lord help me. The Lord help me.
And he shall. Come, into the tomb. It's time. Now, first, let me put the bag I brought over here. And now I will remove the coffin lid again.
Professor, is this really Lucy's body or some kind of demon in her shape?
Oh, she's hideous.
Yes. Yes, your friend who was so sweet and pure is now a foul thing. But if you can do what you must do, you will see her once again as she was.
Whatever it is, we'll do it.
This wooden stake I have bought.
Yes?
This pointed stake. You must drive it through Lucy's heart. With this hammer.
Oh, no.
And when that is done, cut off her head with this surgical knife.
I don't...
You must do it. For her sake, John. For the sake of the woman you loved.
All right. Give me the stake. And the hammer.
John took the stake in his left hand, the hammer in his right. I saw him tremble as he placed the point of the stake over Lucy's heart, saw the point dig into her white flesh, and then I could see him gather all his strength, all his self-control. He raised the hammer high above his head and looked at Van Helsing.
Yes.
Now! John struck with all his might. The thing in the coffin writhed, and a hideous blood-curdling screech came from the opened lips. The body shook and twisted in wild contortions. John never faltered. He struck, and he struck again, driving the stake deeper, deeper, as blood from the pierced heart welled and spurted up around it. And then the writhing and quivering of the body became less. The teeth stopped champing, and the thing lay still. It was over.
Is that enough, Professor?
Enough.
I think I'm going to...
I've got you. There. Now go outside, get some air.
No.
Both of you go. You look faint too, Miss Parker.
I must still her head.
No.
I have...
You have done all that can be asked of you. No more. I will sever the head. Now go now, but before you do, look at your beloved Lucy for the last time.
There, in the coffin, lay no longer the foul thing we dreaded, but Lucy, as we had seen her in life, her face as beautiful and pure as it had been then.
You will want to know that later on, Professor Van Helsing freed Count Dracula from his earthly bondage, and in so doing, brought his bloody career to an end. Unhappily, I must add that Count Dracula was only one vampire among, how many? I don't know. Hope I never find out. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
This is the Oaks, a house in the country which I rented for the summer. As an author, I write tales of mystery and murder. But the things that happened in this house were far more fantastic than any story I've ever had published. I brought a staff of servants from my city apartment, and my maid Lizzie Allen, who had been with me nearly 20 years.
Lizzie?
Yes, Miss Cornelia.
Is the car ready?
It's at the door. Look, Miss Cornelia, them servants you brought from the apartment are talking about walking out on us.
Really? Well, I know they don't like it here, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, they've been hearing things about the killer that the police call the Bat and the murders that he committed here this past winter. Now people are saying that he's back again.
Well, how can they be sure of that? Has he committed another crime?
No, not yet, but that ain't saying that he won't. Here's something else. You've heard about the bats they have here. Animal bats, the kind that fly.
Yes, yes.
Look what it says in this magazine. This is a report from the State Health Department, and it says some of them bats is rabid.
Well.
And that ain't all. Now there's a rumor going around that it was the bat himself, the killer, I mean, that released the rabid bats in this neighborhood.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, the housekeeper, the cook, the butler, and the upstairs maid don't think so.
Well, I can't help what they think. If hysterical nonsense like that can scare them out of their good jobs, it's their loss, not mine. Come on, Lizzie, I've got to get to the bank. Drive directly to Zenith Bank, Warner. I'm afraid we'll have to hurry. It's near closing time.
I'll get you there, Miss Van Gorder.
Thanks again.
Miss Van Gorder.
How do you do, Mr. Barry?
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You remember Lizzie Allen?
Of course. Hello, Miss Allen.
How do you do?
So you're spending the summer with us again?
Yes, yes. I've leased the Oaks, the home of your bank president, John Fleming.
I heard you had. I was surprised.
Why? Is there something the matter with it?
No, I was surprised because Mr. Fleming said he would never rent it.
Oh? Well, I rented it from his nephew, Mark Fleming, who has the real estate office here. He said his uncle would be gone the entire summer.
That's right. Mr. Fleming's in the North Woods now with his physician, Dr. Wells. Oh, pardon me. Dale, I want you to meet my wife. We were married at Christmas time.
That must have been nice.
Believe me, it was. Oh, here she is.
Oh, dear.
My
How
wife,
do you
Miss
do?
Van Gorder, Miss Allen.
How do you do, Mrs.
How do
Bailey?
you do? Cornelia Van Gorder.
Yes.
Oh, well, I've read every murder mystery you've ever written. I just adored that weird one, The Private Morgue of Dr. X, even though it gave me the shivers.
Only the shivers? Scared hell out of me.
Oh.
Well, I really mean that Miss Corney killed them off in that one.
When you refer to my books, please don't call me Miss Corney.
Pardon me, Mr. Bailey. Mr. Hines is here to see you.
Oh, yes. Excuse me, please. Don't be strangers now.
No,
Oh,
no,
I
we
should
won't.
say not.
Oh, so you're a bride.
Well, not quite.
Not since Christmas.
You know, I'm sure I've seen you. Well, I used to be my husband's secretary here in the bank.
Of course I remember.
May I welcome our most distinguished visitor back to Zenith?
Oh, that's very charming, but,
Lieutenant Anderson.
Lieutenant Anderson, of course. Chief of Detectives of the Zenith Police Department. This is Miss Allen.
Miss Allen.
How do you do? Lieutenant Anderson is one of our favorite citizens. He's on the bank's board of directors.
Not bad for a policeman.
You must have made a good thing of it.
Well, I saved my money, if that's what you mean.
It's near closing time, and I've got some business in the safe deposit vault. Please come and see me, Mrs. Bailey.
Oh, I'd love to.
And you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Nice to meet you. My, what a charming woman. She moved into the Oaks just the other day.
That house is a proper setting for a writer of mysteries.
Oh, it certainly is. Vic, what's the matter?
Come in here, both of you. Andy, we're in trouble. Wendell Hines came in to pick up $350,000 worth of bonds that we were holding as collateral for a loan. They were kept in our special vault. Mr. Fleming and I are the only officers of the bank who have access to that vault.
So?
The Hines bonds are gone. That's not all. Other negotiable securities are missing. From what I can gather, short of a careful check, the bank has been looted of over $1 million worth of securities.
You'll have to notify Fleming.
I wish I could talk to him. Unfortunately, he and Dr. Wells are deep in the woods. They can't be reached by phone.
What is it?
I thought I heard someone on the path coming from the lake. Had an idea it might be that guide of ours.
Oh, Sam won't show up until morning. It's a 20-mile canoe trip from here to civilization.
5 will get you 10. Sam has a message for me.
I thought you told him at the bank not to bother you.
I did, but they'll bother me. Doctor.
Yes, John.
What would you do for $500,000?
Anything short of murder.
Why not murder?
Too messy.
Too great a risk?
For $500,000? Yes.
I pinched $1 million from the bank. Well, I'm not kidding. I embezzled it.
Not that I think you wouldn't do it if you thought you could get away with it.
I got away with it. I'm not talking about currency. I took negotiable securities that could be converted into cash. I have the cash in 10s, 20s, and 100s.
Well, I'm your doctor, not your lawyer. Why tell me this?
You'll find out why.
Who's going to take the blame for the robbery?
Bailey, the cashier. They'll never suspect me.
I like Bailey.
Well, so do I. I love the guy. I gave him his first chance.
He has a lovely little wife.
Charming girl. was the best man.
Where's the $1 million?
In my family's tomb in Zenith, in the crypt with my father's casket.
I don't buy that, John.
No?
No. You forget that I had you in charge when you were a very sick man. When you raved in delirium. And I heard you talk about a hidden room. Now, where else could you put a hidden room except in that mansion you built? That white elephant you call the Oaks.
Look, everyone knows I have a bad heart. Now, who would doubt it if you wired the bank directors that my heart had failed? That I had fallen from a great height here in the woods, and that I was badly smashed up. You could ship the body back for burial and instruct them not to open the casket due to the condition of its contents.
Well, you realize, of course, that we'd have to have a body to put in that casket, which means that we'd have to deal with an undertaker at this end.
Of course.
Well, where do we get a body?
Couldn't we provide one of our own? How about Sam?
Sam, our guide?
Sam weighs about as much as I do. He's practically a hermit. He wouldn't be missed for a long time.
The local undertaker would know him.
Not if we made him look as if he'd been in a serious accident.
But if Bailey's going to take the blame, why'd he have to do this?
A jury might acquit him. In that case, I'd be a logical suspect. I could disappear, of course, but it's safer if they think I'm dead.
What if I don't go for this deal?
In that case, it would be too bad.
You mean you'd kill me?
What else could I do? Now that I've told you about the $1 million, I'd say you were shot in a hunting accident. Now, look, Doctor, if you can find another body instead of Sam's, it's all right with me. There's $500,000 in it for you.
I'll do my best.
I smell smoke.
So do I. What's that noise?
Look, Doctor, the woods are on fire. It's coming this way. We've got to get out of here. Out the back way.
We will. As soon as I provide that body we were talking about.
Is that you? Yes, Miss Cornelia. There's a storm coming up, and it's gonna be a snorter. The wind nearly blew the door off its hinges.
Well, that noise blew my game higher than a kite. I think I've lost some of the cars.
Oh, I'll get them for you.
Oh, I see you found the paper.
Drat that paper boy. Scooting by on his bicycle, just chucked it into a clump of bushes and let it go at that. For land's sake. Mr. Vic Bailey's been arrested.
Oh?
I think.
Victor Bailey, vice president and cashier of the Zenith Bank, was arraigned before United States Commissioner Alvin Fielding, charged with the embezzlement of over $1 million. I can't believe Vic Bailey had anything to do with that robbery. Oh, well, I see our landlord is home again.
Landlord?
Mr. Fleming. Dr. Malcolm Wells is back in town with the body of John Fleming, president of the Zenith Bank, who was killed in a forest fire. Mr. Fleming will be laid to rest in his family's tomb on Friday.
And I hope he stays there.
Well, why shouldn't he?
Well, this is his house. And ever since he died, some funny things have happened here.
For instance?
The housekeeper, the cook, and the butler said that they heard strange noises at night. And the upstairs maid swore that she met a man without a face coming up the back stairs.
Oh, so that's why they quit and left me to run this place without a staff.
They didn't tell you, Miss Corney, but the truth is they was scared to stay.
But you're still here, Lizzie. Haven't you seen anything?
No. No, and even if I had, I ain't afraid of ghosts. They're afraid of me. Honest, Miss Corny. A spiritualist told me once that ghosts was allergic to me. But this Bat feller they keep talking about in the paper, I guess he'd be different.
No, I don't think you'd have the same effect on him.
What are they trying to do? Drive people away from this part of the country?
Why, what does it say about the Bat?
His specialty seems to be killing women. My goodness, 2 of them in one night. All his victims died the same way, like their throats had been ripped open with steel claws.
That's a charming little caper. I'll have to try it sometime.
In a book. That ain't nothing, just something bumping against the house. That's just the wind banging a door. Pay no attention to it. Listen to this. One of his victims who lived for a moment after she was found described the Bat as a man without a face. Honest, Miss Corny, I think that woman must have been exaggerating. That's just that heavy tapestry at the top of the stairs.
I know. I've heard it before on a windy night. That sounds as if there was someone on the stairs. I know there isn't. At least there shouldn't be.
There ain't. Them's just the noises you hear in any old house on a windy night. It says here that the Bat never leaves no fingerprints.
That's understandable. Having no face, he probably has no fingers either. Lizzie! And that, I suppose, is the cat dropping its dentures.
No, I don't think so. But I think it's something should be looked into. Now, who chucked him down here?
The wind, I hope. There must be a window open up there. No, Lizzie. Let him lay. Let him sleep it off. I hope the power lines don't go down, put the lights out. Now, we'll check the windows in the living room and draw the curtains, and then we'll go to bed.
Yes, ma'am. I won't be a minute.
Gordy! Oh!
What's that?
Oh, when I went to get the paper, I turned the latch off. I forgot to turn it on again. He's out there. He was coming in. He might have got you.
Oh, but he didn't, and he's still out there, thanks to you. Now, you hurry now, and we'll call the police.
No, I won't leave you, Miss Coney.
Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am, I'm okay.
Okay.
Operator?
Give me the police department, please.
Zenith Police Department.
This is Cornelia Van Gorder. I'm living at the Oaks.
We know about that, Miss Van Gorder.
Just a moment ago, a man tried to force his way into this house.
You're not alone there, are you? What about your servants?
Well, I have none except my chauffeur, and he's away. He won't be back until the morning. Now, there's only 2 of us here tonight, and we're going to lock ourselves in my room. Now, if any of your men see anything, will you have them call me?
I'll send officers over there right away.
Oh, thank you very much. Come on, Lizzie. We're going to sleep in my room. Well, nothing can get at us in this room now, I think. This door seems good and solid.
Like the door to a tomb.
I think that couch will be comfortable. There's some extra bedding, you know. in the
Yes,
closet. Let's see now.
Huh? No bolt. Well, that's not so good. Oh, what's that for? That, my good woman, is a booby trap. If anybody tries to open this transom, this will be knocked off, and we'll hear it fall.
Fiddlesticks. I forgot my night things, my robe, my gown, and my slippers. I'll go get 'em now.
Now, wait a minute, Lizzie. I'll go with you.
Now, don't you bother, Miss Cornelia. My room's just down the hall.
Lizzie, I told you to wait.
It's all right. I'll only be a second. Get in here. Get in here.
Yes?
Miss Van Gorder?
Yes?
Zenith Police Department. There's a police car just outside your house, and the officers in it have reported that there's no sign of a prowler anywhere on the grounds.
Well, the man's inside now. He's in the hall, just outside my bedroom. Have your men break through the kitchen door and search this place from top to bottom.
Okay, Miss Van Gorder. Sit tight.
I will. I have a gun, and I know how to use it. Relax, Lizzie. The police did a good job. They couldn't find anybody in here.
But we both saw him, Miss Cornelia.
All right, so he got away. But there are men on guard outside, so just try and get some rest. There's nothing can get at us here. You've had a nightmare.
Maybe I did. But there was a bat in and it bit me. What? And it flew in that closet.
Oh, good gracious, Lizzie, you're right.
Oh.
Operator, will you get me Dr. Malcolm Wells' office, please? No, I don't know his number, and I have no phone book up here, but this is an emergency. Will you connect me with his office, please?
Oh, dear, I'm going to get the rabies.
Hello?
Hello? Dr. Wells' office?
This is a call service. Dr. Wells is out at the moment, but if you'll give me your name and number, I'll try to locate him.
Well, this is Miss Van Gorder of the Oaks. My maid has just been bitten by a bat that may be rabid, and she must have treatment as soon as possible. And I was told that Dr. Wells was the nearest physician.
I'll try to find him for you, and if I can't, I'll send you another doctor.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Oh, he's out on a case.
Oh.
Oh, I hope it's not a delivery. A baby, I mean. They can be terribly complicated.
It never bothered me none.
Oh, Lizzie, you never had a baby.
Of course I didn't. That's why they never bothered me.
Oh, does it hurt, huh?
A little.
Dr. Wells? Are you there, Dr. Wells? Are you there, Dr. Wells? This is the operator. Your call service is on the wire. It's an emergency.
This is Dr. Wells.
This is your call service, Doctor.
Oh, hello. I was just doing an experiment. I left the receiver off.
That's what I thought, but I kept trying. Miss Van Gorder at the Oaks called and said that her maid had been bitten by a bat, and she's afraid it might be rabbit.
What? Oh, all right. Tell her I'll be right over there.
Who's there?
Dr. Wells.
Come in.
Good evening.
Oh, I'm so glad they found you, Doctor.
Well, I reached my office shortly after you called. How is your maid? Is she in any pain?
No, she doesn't seem to be.
Did the bat get away?
No, I believe it's still in my bedroom.
Oh, good. I'll want to examine it. There you go, Miss Allen. Now you feel better?
Doctor, have I got the rabies?
Well, I can tell you better after I've examined the bat's brain under a microscope.
That thing's got a brain?
Oh, you'd be surprised. Well, where is it?
I think the little darling is in that closet.
Oh. You know, it's a pity you leased this house, Miss Van Gorder.
Why a pity?
Well, my dear lady, I don't want to alarm you, but...
Oh, well, after tonight, nothing can alarm me.
Yes, I understand. It must have been terrifying. So many unexplainable things have happened here. There's something about the place. Your servants must have sensed it when they walked out on you. An apprehension of disaster. Well, let's see. Aha! Yes. There he is. All right, now, take it easy. Nobody's going to hurt you. Quiet now. Quiet. He looks quite normal. Doesn't seem to be sick at all.
Oh, ain't that nice? I've been worried about him.
Well, you should be. From his appearance, I'd say that he doesn't have any infection. In which case, you've had a narrow escape. Now, you take one of those tablets I left for you, and I'll guarantee you a good night. And I'll drop in on you tomorrow.
Oh, thanks for everything, Doctor.
Now, don't worry, I can find my way out.
Oh, I know you can, but do let me help you.
Oh, don't forget that once I'm gone, you'll have to climb those stairs alone.
Oh, I'm all right. I'm armed now.
Can you, shoot one of those things without shutting your eyes?
Oh, Doctor, there are guns in every book I've ever written. I don't write about things I'm unfamiliar with. Lock the door, Lizzie.
Good night.
Yes, ma'am. Good night, Doctor.
Accident?
No, the wind blew him down.
Oh.
I think.
Oh. Did you know that young Mark Fleming leased you this house without notifying his uncle?
No, I didn't.
Well, it doesn't matter now. John Fleming is dead and Mark's his heir. But if John were alive, he would warn you to leave here, Miss Van Gorder.
Really?
Yes. It's been a tragic place for anyone who ever lived in it. Well, good night.
Good night, Doctor.
Who's out there?
Nobody you need worry about, Doctor.
Oh, it's Andy.
That's right. Oh, good evening, Miss Van Gorder.
Good evening, Lieutenant.
Somebody sick here?
My maid was bitten by a bat.
Oh? A rabid bat?
Well, I'll know for sure when I get to my lab. I caught the bat.
It happened indoors?
In my bedroom.
How'd it get in?
Well, there are many ways a bat could get in a house.
You ought to know. I spotted this hole in the window the minute I got here.
Why?
That's where the two-legged bat got your door open.
Miss Van Gorder told me that she phoned headquarters at Zenith.
Yes, I phoned twice. The second time was after the prowler got in the house.
Weren't headquarters, Andy?
No, but they contacted me.
An officer came and searched the house from top to bottom, but they couldn't find the bat.
You better have this window fixed tomorrow.
Oh, yes, I certainly shall.
Yes, and I'd better be going. I'm due in surgery at 8 o'clock in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
There'll be a man patrolling the grounds all night, Miss Van
Oh,
Gorder.
thank you.
And nobody inside, Andy?
Why should there be?
Well, how do you know but what the bat is hiding somewhere in the house?
I'm quite sure he isn't in the house, Doctor. Not now. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, Andy.
Hello, Mark. Well, congratulations. Real estate business must be picking up. New office, new furniture.
New deal. How do you like it?
Looks expensive. Are you squandering your inheritance?
Oh, I haven't got it yet.
Well, the paper says John Fleming left his entire fortune to you.
Funny thing about that entire fortune is that we can't find it.
No kidding.
Oh, all Uncle John had in his bank account was a couple of $100. And his safe deposit box was empty.
If we don't find that missing million, mine will be empty, too.
How come?
Well, all my savings were invested in Zenith Bank stock. The examiners won't certify the bank as solvent until those stolen securities are found. So the stockholders have voted an assessment that will wipe some of us out. It's a since those securities have been converted into cash. And if I can't find that cash, I'm sunk.
Well, where are you going to look for it, Andy?
Here in Zenith. Your uncle wouldn't take $1 million on a hunting trip, would he?
You suspect Uncle John? Why, Andy, he founded the Zenith Bank. That'd be like robbing the family tomb.
You think he wouldn't?
Well, besides, Vic Bailey's fingerprints are all over the vault. Now, they didn't find any of Uncle John's fingerprints.
Because he wiped them off.
Can the defense prove that?
They'll try to. Judy Hollander, Bailey's secretary, is a defense witness. And they believe her testimony will have a powerful effect on the jury.
Oh, well, she has a powerful effect on me. Judy's a doll.
Here's the book you mentioned, Judy.
It's your newest one.
Yes, it's just been published. You can have that copy if you wish.
Oh, it's a first edition and you've signed it.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much.
May I serve tea now, Miss Van Gorder?
Yes, please do, Warner.
Thank you.
Well, I see you've engaged new servants.
Yes, of course.
Well, how did you persuade them to live in this house?
Well, Jane Patterson, my new housekeeper, knows this house better than you do, Doctor.
Oh?
She worked for John Fleming. And Warner was my chauffeur.
Chauffeur turned butler?
It's incredible. He can play any part at a moment's notice. Did you get a plumber, Warner?
No, we can't get a plumber for 3 days, madam.
What about that leaking pipe? The basement will be flooded in 3 days.
Now, the pipe is no longer leaking.
You mean it's dried up of its own accord?
No, not quite. I packed the elbow where the water was coming out.
Packed the elbow? Oh, where did you learn how to do that?
Well, into each life, a little rain must fall, and a careful man learns to keep himself dry. Now, is there anything else that you require, Miss Van Gorder?
No, not at the moment, Warner.
Thank you, madam.
Now, there's a character.
How long did you say that he worked for you as chauffeur?
About 3 months.
Well, I hope he doesn't have a police record. My dear Dale, it may interest you to know that the last night of his life, John Fleming told me that he loved your husband like a son. If Fleming were alive today, he would be fighting to prove Vic's innocence.
Could Mr. Fleming prove his own innocence?
Miss Van Gorder, can there be any doubt about it?
There will be when Miss Hollander testifies at Vic's trial.
Oh? You know something that we haven't heard yet, Judy?
Something I saw with my own eyes. She's not permitted to say what it was.
My dear girl, I wouldn't think of asking her. But let's assume for a moment that Fleming did steal the $1 million. Now, what would he do about it? Where is it?
Hidden someplace where he could lay his hands on it without getting caught in the act. Now, if I was writing this, instead of living in the middle of it, I'd hide it right here in this spooky old house.
Under a loose floorboard or up a chimney?
If Mr. Fleming had the nerve to steal $1 million, he'd make his plans well in advance. I'd say he'd prepare a place to hide it. Possibly when this house was being built. Now, I rented this place from Mark Fleming, his nephew. I wonder if he'd have the floor plans.
I'll ask him.
Yes. Lizzie, will you bring Mrs. Bailey the phone? Oh, you ask him now. Okay. His number is Summit 7537.
Oh, thank you, Lizzie. Summit
7537.
Not bad, eh, Andy? That means new business. Now, you see, somebody wants to buy a house. Mark Fleming speaking. Oh, hello, Dale. Well, hang on a minute, honey, while I see if I have him. It's Dale Bailey, all excited. Miss Van Gorder wants to know if I have the floor plans of the Oaks. Now, what would she want with the floor plans?
Well, she suggested to me that your uncle might have hidden the bank loot there. Are the plans here?
Somewhere in the house itself. Wait a minute, there is a place where Uncle Johnny might have kept those blueprints.
What place?
Well, I heard him talk about it a good many years ago. I can't be sure of the exact location. Anyway, I don't think the old boy had the guts to steal $1 million. But if I find those plans, I'll let you know, Andy. Hello, Dale. Look, honey, I haven't seen those plans since I was a kid, but I'll come over tonight and maybe we can find them.
Thank you, Mark. We'll expect you. He seems to think they're here in the house somewhere. He's coming over tonight.
Well, that's good. Dale and Judy are my house guests for the weekend. Would you like to have dinner with us tonight?
Oh, no, thank you. I couldn't. I still have a few calls to make. You know, if Judy's testimony is going to clear Vic Bailey and implicate John Fleming, others may get the idea that there's buried treasure in this house. Don't even mention your testimony until you're actually on the stand.
Oh, I won't.
That's a smart girl, Judy, and a very lovely girl. Well, good afternoon, ladies.
Goodbye, Dr. Will.
Come on, girls, let's go. I should be putting them down on paper. Weren't you your husband's secretary, Dale?
Yes, I was.
Do you take shorthand? Well, my dear, if you'd like to have your mind occupied, I want you to work with me while I write the story of this fantastic criminal, the Bat. Lizzie, as usual.
Wonderful. Oh, what a lovely piece of silver. It's an original, isn't it?
Yes, they still use them in England for buffet breakfasts. Some hot water in the bottom. Should keep us hot, your sausages and your scrambled eggs. Interesting. It's very useful. Really nice.
That clock hasn't struck the hour in the last 10 years, if I'm to believe what Mark Fleming told me.
Why is it angled away from the wall like that?
I don't know. Somebody must have moved it. Lizzie, very likely when she was dusting.
Wait a minute. Did you know there's a door in this paneling?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
My gracious, so there is.
Maybe it opens to a secret passage.
Well, certainly to a secret something. Who knows, girls? We'll be about to stumble on that missing million.
Oh, this is... Oh. There's a panel. There must be some gimmick to it. There always is.
Yes, it moves. It moves.
Oh, look.
Calling car 11. Calling car 11. Proceed to the Oaks in Zenith Township immediately. A homicide has been reported.
Okay. Proceeding to the Oaks. Notify the county coroner, Dr. Wells. Tell him to come to the Oaks at once.
Horrible. As if his throat has been torn by some creature with fangs or claws.
That's his sign. We found it on the others he killed. I'd hoped those reports that he was up to his old tricks again were pure imagination, but apparently they're based on fact. He's come back. Back to the scene of his kills. Yes, that's who I mean. That's who did this. The Bat. Who found Mark?
We all did. And it's Dale and Judy and I. Lizzie was in the dining room. This is my new housekeeper, Jane Patterson. You know, she worked for John Fleming.
I know her. Where were you, Mrs. Patterson?
In the kitchen, cleaning up. I cooked the dinner tonight.
Did you know that the secret closet was here?
No. It was behind the grandfather's clock.
Well, it was I who found it, really. Noticed the clock had been moved and the door wasn't quite closed.
I'll get it.
Who is it? Mark Fleming.
As coroner, you saw the same wounds on the others. How long's he been dead?
Oh, I'd say about a half an hour. Do you believe it was the Bat?
That's a Bat's trademark.
Perhaps he's still in the house.
That's possible.
Why should he be?
Because he's looking for something, and like you, he believes it's here. And he's a persistent killer. I would advise you to get out of this house as quickly as possible, notwithstanding our expert police protection. Have you called the morgue?
They're on their way here.
Oh, good. I want to examine the body before they get here. May we take it into another room?
Yes, to the sunroom in the back.
Thank you. Give me a hand.
Excuse me. Oh, Warner, where have you been?
Well, madam, it was... Has it been an accident?
There's been a murder. Mark Fleming, the young man from whom I leased this place, was killed here tonight.
They know who did it?
Well, they believe it was the Bat.
I'm sorry I had to use the front door, Miss Van Gorder, but I forgot my keys, and when I rang the bell at the kitchen door, there was no response.
Oh, this is Warner, Lieutenant. He's my butler. He was my chauffeur.
Why'd you promote him?
But it's very difficult to find a butler. They don't like service in the country.
Have you been a butler before?
I've served in many capacities, sir, but this was my night off, and I forgot my keys.
I heard that part. What time did you leave the house tonight?
Oh, about 6:30. I had dinner at Wiley's Roadhouse.
Can you prove where you spent the rest of the evening?
I can try.
Try hard. And don't leave the house. I'll get to you later.
Very good, sir. I shall be in my room, Miss Van Gorder, if you need me.
Yes, Warner. Surely you don't think he's...
Warren and I have met before. I can't recall where or when, but I will. There'll be a crew here shortly from headquarters, dusting for fingerprints, taking photographs. But in the meantime, Mrs. Patterson, you aren't leaving the house tonight, are you?
No, Lieutenant.
Don't. I'll talk to you in the morning. Good night.
Good night, sir. Good night, Miss Van Gorder.
Dale, I was with Mark Fleming this afternoon when you talked to him about the floor plans of this house. I heard him tell you he was coming here tonight.
Dale called him at my request. She told me he was coming.
Who else heard her tell you that?
Judy, Lizzie.
And that nice Dr. Wells.
Dr. Wells. There are a few killers who kill for the fun of it. The bat very likely is a mental case, and I'm convinced that his crimes are motivated by his mania for personal gain. There's $1 million at large, and he's going to keep on hunting for it until he lays his hands on it. Now, these young ladies are staying here tonight?
Yes, they're my house guests.
Well, when my crew arrives, we'll be busy for a while, so I'd suggest that
That we go to our rooms? That's a very good idea. Come on, girls. What about a police guard for this house tonight, Lieutenant?
You've got one. I'm going to cover this place tonight from the attic to the basement. If the bat makes another call, I'll have a little surprise for him.
Who is he? Have you any idea?
He could be anybody. So far, there are clues to his identity, but nothing we could take before a jury. I'm afraid we must look higher than the criminal world. He may be a merchant, lawyer, doctor, scientist, one of the pillars of his community. Ladies, lock your doors tonight. Stay behind them. I promise you you'll be safe. Good night.
Good night, Lieutenant. Good night.
Pity. So young. Well, Doctor, do you agree it was the bat?
In my report, I shall say the death was caused by the same technique used in the other killings. A paralyzing blow to the throat, followed by severe lacerations of the jugular, resulting in excessive hemorrhage.
In a layman's language, he didn't know what hit him.
Oh, he knew. But he didn't have time to think about it. Staying here tonight, Andy?
Well, until I check the doors and windows, but I'll be back bright and early in the morning.
Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds.
A lot of people are due for a shock when I close this case.
Yes, I'm sure they are. Good night, Andy. Don't get hurt.
Good night, Doctor.
You know, I think we'd better let you get some sleep.
Oh, Lizzie and I share this room for mutual protection. You know, one night, a storm blew the wires down, put the lights out, and I went out the next day and bought a half a dozen of these things. You better take one with you, Dale.
Oh, thank you.
We'll go across the hall now.
Are you sure there's nothing else you need?
Oh, no. Quite sure. We'll be all right.
Well, if anything bothers you, you just sing out, and 2 strong women will come to your rescue.
Oh, nothing will bother us. Not with Andy on the job.
No. Well, good night.
Good night, Miss Van Gordon. See you in the
Don't
morning.
worry, everything will be all right.
We won't. Good night.
Good night.
I don't think I'll sleep tonight. Me neither. All I can see is poor Mark Fleming staring at us. I thought that when people died, their eyes closed, as in sleep. Don't think about it. I'll bet you're thinking about it. No, I was thinking of my poor husband sleeping in jail tonight. Oh, Judy, I love him so much. What's that noise? Oh, I don't know. I kind of fell half asleep. For a moment, I thought it was something from a dream. It's somewhere in the house. Yes, on the floor above. Not directly over us. Probably a room overlooking the driveway.
Should we call Miss Van Gorder?
She'll hear it. How can she help but hear it? Oh, besides, we don't want her to think we're a couple of hysterical women.
Well, I'm about to become one.
Oh,
I
dear.
had it for one night. Dale, you're not going out in that hall.
I want to know what's happening up there.
But Lieutenant Anderson said if we stayed behind our locked doors, we'd be safe.
Vic isn't safe locked up in that jail. Suppose that stolen money is in this house. Mark Fleming seemed to think it was. Maybe that's what somebody's looking for.
Oh, for heaven's sake, don't you hear that awful noise up there? Now, Lizzie, you've just got to stay awake. The house phone and the outside phone wires have been cut, and we can't get help.
Where's that policeman?
Oh, I don't know. Something must have happened to him. Now, go on, get on your robe.
Oh, Dale, please don't go up there. I've got to. Think what it could mean to Vic. Now, you stay here.
Oh, no. If you go, I go.
Let you go up there alone. You wait here. I'm going to see what it is.
Oh, please let me go with you,
Judy, will you warn me if anyone comes? I'll only be a moment. Now, wait.
Give her to me. I'll look after her.
Poor baby.
Judy.
The bat.
Yes, the bat. He caught her at the head of the stairs. We saw him rushing down the stairs as we came out of the room. I hurled that after him. I hit him, I believe. I'm going to cover this place from attic to basement, you said. Well, what were you covering when that poor child was murdered? Where were you?
I saw a man outside in the grounds. I went out there and hunted him. I heard him in among the trees, and so I followed the sound of him as far as the brook down near the back road. And then I lost him. I'd rather give my own life than have this happen to Judy. But I told you to stay in your rooms and lock your doors and stay there. What was she doing at the head of those stairs?
That was my fault.
They heard a strange noise. Heavy pounding in one of the rooms on the 3rd floor. We all heard it.
I wanted to see what it was. Judy, I wish she wouldn't let me go out by myself. I made her stay on the balcony.
What about your new butler?
Oh, well, he's in his room, I suppose.
Oh, Mrs. Patterson.
Oh, yes.
Did you know what happened here?
No, sir, but I heard the screams. I went to call Warner. We have rooms on the same floor, but he wasn't in his room. His bed hasn't been slept in.
If Mrs. Patterson heard the screams, Warner could certainly hear them.
You're quite right, sir. I heard them.
Oh, you did? And where were you?
Outside in the grounds.
Miss Holland has been murdered.
No.
Oh, so you're surprised. Shocked. Well, I've seen better performances. I remember you now. Your name's not Warner. I've got a circular in my office with your picture on it. The Chicago police not so long ago were hunting for you in connection with the robbery.
You're right again, sir. And they found me and they tried me and I proved my innocence and I was acquitted.
That could have been a lucky break. Where were you when this child was killed?
I told you before, sir, outside.
What were you doing there?
I was following you. I saw you leaving the house, and it seemed that you were hunting someone. I thought you might need some help. Oh, yes, sir. I followed your flashlight down through the trees. Then it disappeared. And then suddenly, as I was staring out into the darkness, I was struck by something on the back of the head. The next thing I knew, I was lying on the ground. I realized I'd been knocked out.
I wish you had been knocked out. But then we'd have found you with your mask still on your face. You were hit here in this house with this poker as you were rushing down those stairs after that child was killed.
Oh, no, sir, you can't pin this on me. I'm not the bat. I've never killed. I couldn't kill. I won't take the rap for this.
Well, Doctor, we have another case for the county coroner. You see, the bat came back. Why did you come back, Doctor?
Well, I had an accident about a mile down the road. The right rear wheel of my car came off and I plunged into the ditch. This was the nearest house, so I came here to call for help. I thought I'd find you around, Andy.
Physician, heal thyself. You must have been hit by something on the back of your head.
I told you I had an accident.
So you did, Doctor. So you did. I could be wrong. But maybe I'm not. We shall see.
All right, dear, let's start a new chapter. For days, the murders held the headlines. Lieutenant Anderson grilled us and ransacked the house from top to bottom. Warner was not placed under arrest, but his every move was watched. At night, except for a detective on guard in the house, the police and the reporters left us alone. And on one of those nights, without telling Lizzie or anyone else, I pursued a secret investigation of my own. It was in an empty room on the 3rd floor where we kept our trunks and other things.
a bright idea to kill me in my own lab and let people think that I'm the bat. But you had to kill me first. What was it to be, ambush? And clever as you are, you're not smart enough to do that. Nor were you smart enough to find the money, though you came quite close to it. But I know where it is. And when you're dead with that sign pinned on your chest, I'm going to collect it and live happily ever after. He destroyed himself. How true that will be. Well, goodbye, Bat. Here's a serum that will heal you whether you're rabid or not.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Miss Cornelia. Miss Cornelia. Where would she be going at this time of night? Well, land's sake. I never. Oh. Mr. Davenport. Mr. Davenport. Oh, a fine thing. The door unbolted, the chain off, and you asleep on the job. Wait till Lieutenant Anderson hears about this. Come on, wake up. What's the matter with you?
I don't know. My head hurts. My whole body's numb.
Here, take a sip of this. Try to snap out of it. I'll be back in a minute. Hurry, will you? It's Lizzie. I'm terribly worried. I can't find Miss Cornelia anywhere, and something's happened to the policeman. I don't know what. Get Warner. Bring him to the drawing room. Tell him we need him. Are you all right now?
Yeah, I'll be all right in a minute. I remember now. I took a drink of wine from that decanter there. Miss Van Gorder told me to help myself.
She wouldn't put nothing in it?
Well, somebody did. Somebody who knew I was on duty here.
Then it was somebody that got Miss Van Gorder. I can't find her anywhere. Upstairs, downstairs, or in the basement. I told the housekeeper to get Warner.
Lieutenant Anderson will want to know about this. Hello. Yeah, this is Davenport at the Oaks. We've got trouble here. Well, for one thing, I was drugged. Yeah. But I must have been knocked out because the maid tells me Miss Van Gorder is missing. Well, you better call Anderson and let him know. He's not at home. Well, where is he? Out on a case? What case? Dr. Wells. What else did they tell you about it?
Oh, hurry, will you? We've got to find Miss Cornelia.
Okay. Lieutenant Anderson is out on a case. Dr. Wells was found dead in a room next to his garage, murdered.
Dr. Wells?
There's something queer about the killing of Wells, but headquarters won't talk about it.
Lizzie, Warner isn't in his room. There's no sign of him anywhere.
And I was supposed to keep an eye on that guy.
Where's Miss Cornelia? That's what I want to know.
Wait a minute. Didn't you say that the chain and the bolt were off of the front door?
I certainly did.
Well, maybe Miss Van Gorder went outside.
Oh, she never would. We better look.
I can't breathe. There's no air.
Miss Cornelia.
Oh, Miss Van
Miss
Gorder.
Cornelia. Miss Cornelia.
Miss Van Gorder.
Look. There's a light in that room on the 3rd floor. Were you up there tonight?
Well, of course I was, but I turned the lights out before I came downstairs.
Then Miss Cornelia might have turned them on again. That's where we're going to look first. Come on.
Yes, Lizzie. I'm here. Right here. Come to the mantelpiece.
Here we are, Miss Van Gorder. What do we do now?
Over the mantel, there are 5 panels. Strike it with your hand.
Which panel did you say, Miss Van Gorder?
Oh, I can't. I just can't.
Miss Van Gorder, which panel? We couldn't hear you.
She said strike it. What difference does it make which panel? Strike them all. Look. It's all right now. It's all right, dear. Lizzie's here.
Feeling better?
Yes, much better.
We'll take you to your room.
Oh, no, you won't. I'm going to stay right here. I'm quite all right. Oh, how blessed it is to breathe without an effort. You know, no one knows how sweet the air can taste until someone shuts it off for a moment. That room is just like a box. When the mantelpiece closed, it seemed like all the air was drawn out of it. Look, there it goes again!
Let it close. I can open it from in here. There's a control panel behind this blueprint. Electric motor under the trap door here. Once the door is open, you can keep it that way. I believe that the fireplace in this other room opens the same way. And it does.
I tried to find this, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it was back at this blueprint here. Well, it's quite a setup. Too bad we can't open that safe in the same way. Take an expert to crack this box or a shot of nitro.
Oh, maybe that's what the bat had in mind.
Could be. Seems he's on the prowl tonight.
Miss Van Gorder, Warner has disappeared.
And Dr. Wells has been murdered.
Dr. Wells?
Lieutenant Anderson's on that case right now.
Well, does he know what happened here tonight?
They got word to him. He'll be here any minute.
What's that noise? Miss Van Gorder, the garage is on fire.
Scott, look at that.
Lizzie, put that light out in the other room. Now, where are you going?
To report the fire.
Well, you just stay right here.
But Miss Van Gorder, the garage.
Well, let it burn. You watch the stair. Can't you see that fire was set to get us out of the house?
Out of the house? Were you talking about the...
Yes, I'm talking about the bat. Now that the lights are out, he'll think his trick has worked, and we've gone. He'll be here any minute.
Well, so will Lieutenant Anderson.
I hope so, but the bat will be here first. And he'll kill again if we're in his way. We've got to be as clever as he is.
But you'll be safer downstairs. I'll take care of you.
Well, the others can go, but I'm going to stay right here.
All right, but get out of sight.
Let's face it, ladies, and get it over with. Others have seen my face before they died, but I'll have to deny you that pleasure. This would make a good scene for your book, Miss Van Gorder, but I'm afraid you'll never write it.
That is Warner. I could tell.
You misjudged me, Miss Ellen.
Warner!
I don't like being a murder suspect, Miss Van Gorder. I was headed for a plane, but halfway to the airport, I changed my mind and came back. I'm glad that I did.
Why, it's Lieutenant Anderson. Yes, it was Anderson. He discovered the secret of the hidden room and was waiting to get into it and open up the safe. We found the money in it, a little over $1 million in tens and twenties and hundreds. Good old Andy. With all his ill-gotten gains invested in bank stock. It's rather a clever way to hide stolen money. In the open, as it were, and so respectable. But don't try it. No matter how clever you are, you can't hide murder. Well, that's it, Dale. That's the end.
black capes back on the rack. Bela Lugos is dead, the bats have left the bell tower. The victims have been bled, red velvet lines, the black box. Bela Lugos is dead. Bela Lugos is dead. The count